Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. Yesterday, we had a nice sell-off in a lot of the markets. Could put in a couple topping tails on the daily time frame. What I will mention, though, is because we had a sell-off in all basically the whole market, that these topping tails may not be as valid as if they were set apart as individual stocks without the rest of the market sell-off. Let's say that Spider was positive on the day and we put in topping tails. That means the sellers had emerged in these specific stocks and they would have more power. I'm still going to go over these levels. One is on Google, one is on MU, and you guys were going to see how exactly to play these, where to put your stop outs, and possibly where to take some profits. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me at 8:15 this morning. I am going to go over a couple stocks that we were monitoring the last week or so, because these still have good technical levels that I'm eyeing. First one is going to be Nvidia. Here we go. There we go. Nvidia still got this beautiful hidden upsloping trend line that connects the 25th of March, 2025. All this consolidated price action. As you can see, price action when it was below it. It was resistance, got alongside of it. Now it was support. This is still a long-term upsloping support trend line. If we break this trend line, you're going to have your first long level at $178.91. If it gets there today, I am still a buyer. You had this nice sell-off yesterday, still positive technically on the day with this green bar candle. If we can get a dip below this upsloping trend line, I am looking to pick this up, knowing full well that it could head all the way down to $170.29. This is going to be a pretty big gap fill for the Nvidia chart. If you notice from the highs, these were a couple other levels that I was eyeing if it decided it wanted to head higher. Anyways, from the highs on Nvidia, this would be a pretty good sell-off, about a 20% drop. They do have earnings in a couple days, which puts a little bit more of a kind of a guess on which direction this can go. So this would only be a day trade. I'm not looking to long for a swing trade anytime soon. I got to wait for 3 to 5 days after earnings to see where the market decides it wants to settle in with Nvidia. It should pull the rest of the markets down as well. Oracle is another stock that I'm looking at. I still like this long level at $210.23. Here's this little pivot low right here, this gap fill that barely got missed the other day. Because it got such a pop above that, this isn't going to be as strong of a level, but still $210.23 on Oracle is still going to be a pretty good level, knowing that it could head down to $207.04. This would still be a great buying opportunity. And I'm buying a lot of Oracle at $199.86. Still, this gap fill is looming. Price action should come down there at some point and fill this gap. And then I'm taking this for a swing trade long, again at $199.86. AMD is another stock that we're monitoring. Still tracking this upsloping trend line that goes back from the pivot high of 2021, secondary pivot in 2024. This would be the third hit of this upsloping trend line, which favors a pullback if price action can get up to about $275. For a long level, I have AMD trading at, this long level says $237.52. That's actually incorrect. It's $233. Let me go ahead and adjust this for you to give you an updated $233.54 is my long level. You've got this gap in AMD that once price action gets in here, it's going to be a pretty solid buy level. And you have the secondary support trend line that connects the lows from the 6th of October, secondary pivot low from the lows of November. So the third time it hits this level, it should get a nice bounce. Once price action starts breaking below this level on a daily time frame with confirmation, look at how much room to the downside you have. Your next support level is going to be right about $184 on AMD. SMH, we're still tracking this parallel channel. It did close below on this trend line, upsloping parallel channel. I still have my long level at $324.83. Let's go ahead and take off the RSI. We have not confirmed below it. On SMH, what we're looking for now that we've closed below this upsloping parallel channel is a continuation move to the downside. Currently, it's trading at $335.90 or $336. If we can close at $336 or lower, that would confirm the breakdown. What we'd want to do is wait for a retrace of the scene of crime. We'd want price action to head back up to this trend line, retag it after a confirmed breakdown, and then we could short this, stopping out on a daily closing basis above this upsloping parallel channel with confirmation. That would negate the chart pattern, and then price action would reestablish itself as a bullish pattern. Right now, again, it has broken down, but has not confirmed. I still like the $324.83 level. DELL was a trade that we were monitoring yesterday. I had mentioned that here was my my gap fill on the charts, $121.29. I did not take this because it was so late in the day. For me, it was too late in the day. I didn't want to tend with this. If price action decided it wanted to continue to fall, look at the possibility of a move to the downside. Your next gap fill in charts is $109.56. It is currently trading about $120, which is actually a pretty good buy level. If you can get to this low pivot at $118, you should get pretty sizable support. I would be a buyer at this level based on this sell-off yesterday and the day before. So what I would like to draw your attention to after I remove some of these trend lines is look at this move to the downside. So what I've done is I've taken for a parallel channel, you take the higher end and extend a trend line all the way down to the lower end. You take this exact same movement. Oh, I'm not sure why I did that. Give me 1 second. And then look at this. This takes you right into this gap fill at $109.56. I am looking to pick this up for a long trade. And I'm also noticing the RSI. So I do go over the RSI, still check it out. It's below the 30, meaning that it's oversold. The buyers have, the buyers have stepped out of the way. The sellers have taken control, pushing this down. So once the pressure, once the selling pressure is so much, eventually the sellers will get exhausted, and the buyers who are interested in picking this up can bid this up to the upside. So again, a pierce of $110 is more of a swing trade level. If it gets down there today, not only is it a swing trade level for me, it's a day trade level as well. Okay, I'm going to go over MU now. MU in the charts. Here was this topping tail. I do have a couple, I do have this trend line. So I'm going to go way, way back. So this goes back to July of 2019. This is where I'm taking the pivot from. This is a secondary pivot from the 1st of March, 2021. So I've connected these two pivot tops, and look at where price action headed. It actually hit this trend line, got a pullback, got above it, and it's still technically above this upsloping trend line. Get rid of the RSI. Now it's put in a topping tail. If we can get price action below that upsloping trend line, you should have a pretty nice fall off in MU. However, right now, the 50% Fibonacci retracement for MU is going to be $250.02. So if price action gets up to this level, this is a swing trade short on this with an option or opportunity to get out of this trade at $260.58 on a daily closing basis. If it closes above there, that would negate the topping tail. Again, like I had mentioned earlier, we did have a market sell-off in the S&P 500, the QQQs. This topping tail isn't quite as solid as one if it was an outlier. It is still a topping tail, so you can still play it like one, just knowing that it has additional risk. So you could reduce the amount of share sizes that you have. If, again, this breaks that upsloping trend line on MU, you could have a pretty sizable fall off. I would say that you, for a swing trading basis, $192 is this minor gap fill, but this is where likely price action is to head lower too. Google is another topping tail that was put in the charts. The 50% Fibonacci retracement is $288.76. It's actually trading above that level as well. So what I do is I like to look at trend lines. So here's an upsloping trend line that's kind of a hidden trend line, kind of similar to what's going on with Nvidia. So this goes back from the COVID lows of March 2021 or 2020, consolidated right above this trend line. Look at how much support it had. Now, price action got below it. So this upsloping trend line that was support is now resistance. So price action got up to that level, got rejected, got up to that level, got rejected, and now it put in the topping tail. This is signaling to the markets that the Google chart or the Google price is about topped out. If you can break this upsloping trend line that connects the lows of the 20th of August 2025, secondary pivot at the 10th of October, third hit right here of the 21st of October, price action likely to get here, break this level, you're going down to $250. Could even head down to this gap fill around $236. The last chart I wanted to go over is Hood. Robinhood is getting sold off quite substantially. This was a darling of the markets. It could be putting in what's known as an MA pattern, which signals to the markets, again, that the markets could be topping, or at least for Robinhood. So we're going to go ahead and check this out for a particular buy level. You have this wide range green bar candle. There was a lot of buyers in this price before this extended move to the upside. When price action gets back into this level at $110.47, you are likely to get some buyers stepping back in. If price action closes below $110.47 on a 15-minute closing basis, I would stop out of this trade and look for this pivot low or this gap fill at $101.25. That would be more of a swing trade, especially since you can pick this up from $153 high all the way down 33 or 34% to the downside. Again, a couple different long levels I'm looking at for Robinhood as well. All right. Thank you so much for joining me this morning at 8:45. Hopefully you guys get something out of this. We're going to continue to monitor some of these stocks that have been extended, coming into some support levels to give you some buy levels. We're also going to be taking a look at any trend lines that are upsloping, that price action is getting up to, so we can take advantage of the sellers who are coming in, take profits, ride that profit down with them and say thank you very much for taking profits and allowing us to take some of the capital on the way down. If you guys are enjoying this, make sure you're sharing with your friends, you're liking, you're commenting, and ring that bell. You don't want to miss what's going on. Bitcoin finally dropped below 90,000. Gare Soloway is going to be going live in less than 3 minutes in my trading game plan. He's going to go over everything that's going on in the markets and his predictions going forward. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys next time in the charts. Take care.